Okay, this video is going to walk you through two different ways on how you can copy this triangle and get an exact duplicate congruent triangle. The first thing you need to do is when you're trying to figure out how to copy this triangle to this new point T prime, is to first of all create your ray. Make a ray coming out of point T that's longer than your side here. We're going to use our skills of how to copy a line segment. Watch a previous video if you need to, but set your compass to the opening same distance as QT. Then from over here, do the exact same thing on your ray. There's your first measurement. As we're doing it side, side, side here, we're doing our first side, which is TQ. Now, I'm going to label that TQ, and then I'll put a dot right there at Q, and then we'll call it Q prime. And that is our first segment drawn in by measuring the distance of the original segment, and then we're just basically just taking that distance and translating it over to this, this T prime and making that first segment. Now, as you try to make this next part, again, it's just using circles. You're going to set your compass to the other setting for the distance of QP, and it's like making a circle like this that would go around that point Q. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. If I do that same thing here, I'll have something that goes like this, and it'll eventually intersect with the other circle that I create with TP. Do the same thing on this one. We're going to measure the point TP here, and then make a circle with that one as well. Where these circles meet is at point P. Okay? Do you see that? So if I were to make this circle P, I'm going to spin my paper so it makes a little better circle here. But if I were to take a circle right like this right here, and then, oops, it's kind of going pretty well. Good enough. It makes this circle intersect with the other circle Q. So if I have circle T and circle Q and those match and they intersect at point P, that same thing will happen over here as well. So let me just make sure I have the right setting again. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so then I'm going to put that over here, and as I put my sharp tip on point T, I'm going to make a circle T and do the same thing. So I'll circle this here. And where circle T intersects with circle Q, that will be the intersection point for point P. And as you can see, point P is the same place right here, and that is now you creating a congruent triangle, TQP, and then I should probably use a straight edge if you want to be extra nice. And then you've now copied that triangle, and it's congruent. It is the exact same size as this one, using the copy a segment skill. But now what we want to do is try to also do it with side angle side. It's not any more different than the first one. You copy this side, this S and this S the same way. So we're going to draw in the ray TQ first. Let me do that on the paper here. So line segment TQ as a ray, like that. And then you're going to then make the same marking like we did before, measure and create circle T, which is a little bit bigger in this case here, but I'm not going to say circle T. I've now measured it out right here as well. That is my point Q, and I'm going to call that Q double prime, because it's a new triangle. That's translated over here now. And then we'll use our straight edge and make a nice little side TQ. Now, the next thing was, when you're doing the angle, we learned how to copy angles by doing a little tiny arc. So you make a little tiny arc like this on point Q, and we're just going to go like this. This little arc will then get put on the same spot over here for this one right here. So we're going to draw that same circle on this one as well. Now this circle has a radius that's the same as this little circle's radius right here. What we're going to then do is, in that same exact circle, we're going to figure out how wide is that opening. So we're going to take this little, I'm going to go this way actually. Put your sharp tip of where it crosses the circle, and that little arc that you have in between the sharp tip and my pencil is going to be the exact same thing over here. Now unfortunately, I have this I should put a sharp tip on this side. So when I go over here to this segment TQ, I can now put my little mark right here. Now, as I make this little circle here with that same opening measurement as I had right here, it then has some intersection point that's the same intersection point as those two. So now I can take my straight edge and draw in that part. So I'm going to draw in a line segment that goes through the intersection of that opening size through point Q. That's how that goes. And then lastly, we need to figure out where is this PT going to be at. Well, that's where we measure out how long that segment is. Because we just did side, that was TQ. We measured the angle by doing the copy the angle method. And lastly, we're going to do the side. We're going to do side. We can measure either one, the TP or the P or the QP. I'll measure the QP one here, and then we've already got that circle drawn like you see here. And now we're going to do that same thing over here. And as we do this, same circle, it's going to then intersect at this point, and this point should then be creating a triangle that is congruent with the original. So we got this, and then you got this, and we should hopefully have 2 extra congruent triangles. Now, as you can see, my angle copying was a little more challenging. This one's a little bit bigger, but now you see at least the process of how to copy triangles by either side, 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 or side angle side. Hopefully this video helps. Good luck.